careful who you hire to move a piano. That could happen to you. Now, some other things that can happen to you when you're moving a piano, as your pedal system could get messed up and not work properly. I'm going to show you inside of a pedal system so you can see what happens with them and what goes wrong and why. Come on over here, I want to show you something. This piano was recently moved by movers. When I press a note, it doesn't stop. That's really common with Yamahas and Kawais, especially because of a specific design. Come on down to the bottom. I'm going to move this out of the way. This is your pedal system. It's connected, and it attaches to the piano, and your pedals work as such. Now, underneath here, come on down. We're going to look up here. This is your trap work, and sometimes this pedal gets trapped. When you open it up, there's this thing inside called a pitman, and it will get stuck where this pin will be, instead of inside of the hole that it's supposed to rest in, it will be outside of it, constantly pushing up. Real easy repair. So if your piano is just moved and it's ringing out like that, pull it out. You can feel where the hole goes. Push this back in. Make sure that the pin goes into the receiver hole in the arm. Put your spring back in. Now, I put the pitman back in place. Both pins are in the receiving holes. The spring is back where it belongs. And now this is a catch. This has no purpose except for when you're moving the piano, it stops these parts from flying off and all the pieces falling out. Now, when I push the pedal, it goes, and when I let go, the dampers land and everything is quiet again. All right, underneath here, this is your sostenuto, which comes over and pushes. And now you see this one is out too, because when this was moved, this wasn't in place. And so this guy popped out. That's why it's critical that when you're moving a piano, everything is exactly the way it needs to be, so you can avoid problems. And this is your shift pedal. All right. We're going to look inside of an action at the back action. All these pretty little parts, all these pretty little things. Now, the pitman we talked about earlier is right here. What happens is it gets stuck outside of its hole, and it gets trapped like that, where it's sitting on that pin. All right? Now, when you're pushing on the piano pedals, your sustain pedal is right here. And so when I push the sustain, it lifts all this back action up. This is a separate action than your traditional action that you play on. This is not connected to your action. It just interacts with your action by the back of the key striking it. Okay? Now, the next one is, on this one, is a bass sustain only. It doesn't have what we talked about last week, which was the sostenuto. It has a bass sustain only. So in this particular model, it only lifts the bass section. Now, the last one is the shift. This little guy here is the shift. When you push the shift pedal, this giant steel finger goes like this, and it moves the whole action over against the spring. And as soon as you're done pushing it, the spring fires and shoots everything back over to its normal playing position. So when your piano is in its normal position, it's there because the spring is forcing it there. So this is what's inside of a piano, and this is what makes the piano stop singing when you play. If you'd like to know more about back actions and actions in general, sign up for my So You Want to Know Pianos classes. Every third Saturday of the month at Noteworthy Cafe, noteworthystl.com. It's a great class to learn about how pianos work. So if you're on Marketplace looking for something to buy, or you just want to know what's going on inside of your piano, that's a great beginner class. See you there. Bye.